All right, there is my audience. There's my dad. All right. Did you know that right now you are losing money? All the money in your wallet, all the money in your checking account, and possibly the money in your savings account is losing its value every single day. There is, however, a great way to protect yourself against this, and that is by investing in stocks, or in other words, taking a small ownership in a company. So I know you probably don't want to take an uneducated risk. So today I'd like to share with you 3 things that I would do before buying a stock in a company. The first one would be decide how much risk I'm going to take. The second would be to look at the charts and some important terms. And then third would be to make sure you know how the news affects your portfolio. So first of all, how are you going to decide how much risk you're going to take? Well, the older you are, generally the more risk that you're going to want to avoid. Because as you're older and closer to retirement, risk could really, really hurt you while you're trying to get towards retirement and things like that, because you can't recover from any major losses that you may have. But when you're younger, you can have more risk and then in turn hopefully have more reward because you have a lot more time to recover from any losses that you have. So you're probably wondering now, how can I tell how risky a company is? Well, one thing that I like to do is really just take a look at the company and see if it's well known and see if it's been around for a while. So you have a company like Coca-Cola, which has been around since the 1800s and is also very, very well known. Everyone knows Coca-Cola. Excuse me. However, a company like Keurig, most people don't know about and has only been around for a few years. So generally, as a rule of thumb, it's going to be more risky. Another great way to find out how risky a company is something called beta. And hopefully this will show up on the camera. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your beta is usually listed right around here, and this is Google Finance. You just put in Google Finance, this will come up. And this has a beta of 0.52. So that's about, the market has a beta of 1. So anything under 1 is usually generally less risky, and anything over 1 is going to be more risky. So this is about half as risky as the general market. And since we're into terms and charts, as you can see, this is the line of progressing how much the shares have been for this particular company in the past. And charts are a great way to really look at how much the company's been valued in the past. And some people think you can predict the future by looking at these charts. So if you see a chart that has really strong earnings like this company, it's probably wise to invest. And lastly, the news. You really need to know how the news affects the value of your portfolio and your stocks. You can find the news it would be on this side. If you were to look this up, it'd be over here if you went to Google Finance. And there's 2 things that control the market: fear and greed. And fear is shown a lot in the news. One example would be in 2011, when we reached our debt limit. A lot of people started selling their shares and the value of stocks dropped, even though in reality nothing was really happening to the companies and they were still good companies and they still had a lot of value. But this is an example of fear kind of making people sell things and how the news would affect that. Another example is whenever there's news about the Fed having different stimulus packages for the market, if there's even just news of them stopping, the market has a bad day. And that's just another example of fear in the news kind of changing the value of a stock. So if you do own stock, make sure you're always checking the news and looking for stuff that could potentially change the value of your portfolio. So today I showed you a few things that I would do when deciding to buy a stock. First of all, make sure that you decide how much risk you want to take. Secondly, make sure to check out charts and important terms like beta. And third, make sure you're checking the news and remember to always look at it and look for things that could affect your portfolio. So this information won't make us all wealthy, but it sure is a good start. Thanks.